Ladies and gentlemen, unicorns and other blockchain enthusiasts, welcome to the very first episode of the Stakin podcast. My name is Giselle, and today we're sitting down with the amazing CEO of Comdex, Abhishek Singh.
This is the very first episode, so we are super excited to have you here. Basically, what we're trying to do today is just get a lot of introduction questions about Comdex, and we'll dive into technical specifics. And then, just want to hear what the future has in store, of course. So let's just dive right into it. For someone that doesn't know Comdex, so let's pretend that I don't know anything about your project. Could you tell me what Comdex is and what makes it unique compared to all those other amazing projects out there?
Absolutely. So Comdex is a synthetics protocol on Cosmos. What we are trying to do is create commodity derivatives on blockchain. How is it different from different projects? A couple of projects have tried their hands on synthetics, but their domain, is very different. Like, a couple of projects focus on, cryptocurrency futures or, equity futures. We are focused completely on commodities, and we started with tokenizing of bills of lading for commodity traders earlier on as well. So we have another enterprise platform running currently, which is doing pretty well. So commodities is our space, and I think that's what makes us unique.
Amazing. And so I know that you guys have, I've learned that you guys have an extensive ecosystem of solutions. So the synthetics are part of it, but in the ecosystem, if I understand correctly, you have the protocol and then an enterprise trading platform as well, and ShipFi, I believe. So could you tell me a little bit more about each of these solutions? And of course, I'm very curious to know, like, which one are you the most proud of?
Proud of, So currently, Enterprise is the one which is currently running for over 2 years now. So obviously most proud of that because it's currently live. The other one that we are working on is the synthetics protocol. Now synthetics is basically, creating a protocol in which, you can bring assets, provide that as collateral on Cosmos, and then, mint synthetics. Now these synthetics can be, commodities, in the future it can be anything else. So this is a very generic product that can expand into multiple things. And that should be live, on the testnet in sometime mid-January, and that's what we are, aiming for. ShipFi will be like, one step ahead. What it will try to do is provide. So we, in the enterprise trading platform, we were focusing on the trade of commodities, and it was more of a supply chain product. And ShipFi would be more of a financing side product, use on the same domain where funds can tokenize their, subscription on chain, and DeFi users can now get access to, traditional funds, which, it's not usually accessible to, retail users, funds that invest in, pre-IPO, in trade finance debt. And all sorts of funds which are have a high barrier of entry. So ShipFi would bring it to the retail users as well, using the same synthetics protocol that we are building here. So this is why it is like an ecosystem of products. And till the point ShipFi and synthetics get launched, proud of the synthetics product, of the enterprise trading, and we'll soon be proud of ShipFi as well.
All right, I mean, it sounds pretty amazing. Of course, I already read in on it, but so I'm curious as to, like, why have you guys chosen synthetic assets for all of this? As you said, it's been done before, but it didn't really work out that well. So why go on with the challenge anyway and do it?
So so we started. You need to understand how we arrived at synthetics. When we were tokenizing bills of lading, it was more of creating an NFT of a real world asset and facilitate trading. Now we were only focused on who's owning it at what point, how many times is it changing hands before landing on the other side of the board. And when we started building the financing solution, we realized the people who are into financing, they're not actually worried about who is owning the actual asset at the point. They're most worried about the return that their investment is generating. So this is why we realized it needs a separate, asset altogether, which only tracks the value of the asset. And even if you look in the real world, the synthetics or the derivatives market is like 5 to 6 times larger than the spot market.
Yeah.
And this is why we think synthetic assets has a huge potential to become, a lot of things. So this is why we're not making it, a very focused to commodities. The protocol will be very generic so that whatever people want to collateralize. So we will begin with, crypto assets on the Cosmos ecosystem. Through IBC, we can get an Atom, XPRT, our own assets, maybe also more down the line. To be used as collateral, and in the future, the NFTs of the real world, we can use them as collateral as well to mint the synthetic. So that has been the aim, and this is why synthetic assets are so good, because the user can just take a position on the price movement instead of worrying about where the real asset is.
Awesome, that's really amazing. And basically, if I understand correctly, it's kind of like just the gateway to everything, right? In the future, everything could be, gambled on or betted on with the synthetic asset of Comdex.
Invested on, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Pretty cool. So, another question, of course, something that pops up in your white paper a lot is LBP. So to be completely honest, I didn't completely understand, and I think that goes for a lot of other people that are not that well known with crypto techniques. So would you mind explaining to me what it is and why you guys implemented it?
Got it. Yeah, I do understand. It's a lot of people didn't really get how an LPP works. So LPP is a liquidity bootstrapping pool. So for projects that are trying to raise from the public, right, you see all the ICOs that happen on centralized exchanges, or even on some of the DEXs where the supply is very low. What really happens is, once you launch it, whales come into the picture. They just pump the price 10x at that point and slowly start selling it to the public. Or people do it with bots as well, because the bots have like a lot of liquidity, and they do there's a similar behavior that you see. As soon as a token launches, it goes very high, and then slowly, the bots are selling it to the people, and the average entry price for, the general user is very high. So what an LPP does and it's for someone who doesn't have a lot of capital as well. So it's the pool begins at a 90-10 ratio, where 90% is the project's own currency, and the other 10% is the currency that you're trying to raise on. So we used Atom as the currency which we wanted people to invest in. And what happens is this 90-10 ratio slowly over time, and we took 3 days as time to give enough time to everyone. Becomes a 50-50 ratio slowly, and this happens automatically no matter what happens. And what it does it slowly brings down the price over time, unless there is huge buying pressure, which we saw on our first day, where people bought it up to a very high price, and then slowly, and the market also weren't doing very well on the second and third day, but this price will always slowly come down if there is not enough demand, so that everybody can get into at a good price, immaterial of who got in first. So this is how an LPP works. It's like a reverse Dutch auction. So this is what we wanted people. We kind of put out articles as to what is LPP, and this is Balancer kind of came up with this first, and Osmosis is the Balancer implementation on Cosmos. So this is why we went with this approach. And we wanted to do a very fair launch for people, because the project has been out for like 3 years now, and our token wasn't trading. So we just wanted everybody to get into this, in a fair way.
Yeah. Well, it seems that that's a pretty general theme around Comdex, to make things accessible for everyone, not just, the whales, I guess. So I think that's, for me, I think that's pretty amazing. Obviously, Stakin, we're quite a small provider in the big pond of providers out there, and we're really looking forward to helping everyone. So this is very great, and this is also one of the reasons why we're so interested in your project. Let's go to the following question. So when it comes to Cosmos, you already mentioned it a couple times, it's IBC enabled. It will open up a lot of gateways for you guys. So we all know that Cosmos is becoming more and more apparent player in the revolution of blockchain, just in general, in the entire space. And if you look at the current market, you can definitely see that the networks related to the ecosystem are doing an amazing job. They're quite, even though the market is not that amazing right now, they're all kind of doing great, and they're all evolving further and further. So I'd like to know more about why you guys, apart from the IBC enabled part, chose for Cosmos as your platform and not Ethereum, for example.
Yes, I mean the IBC got enabled 18th of February this year. So, but we started in 18.
Exactly.
The real reason was, once we were building the enterprise trading platform, we needed a lot of data that to identify the real world commodity on chain, right? In the real world, we wanted a lot of data to be put into that token. Like which is the ship name, what is the commodity, what is the tonnage, what is the tolerance, etc. A lot of things that will help us uniquely identify the real world commodity, and wanted to put in a lot of data into that token. Cosmos was very efficient that way. If you are on Ethereum, right, the minting of the token itself would be so costly that the users wouldn't do it, because these enterprise users would be minting these tokens every single day, right? And then if there's a huge cost associated with just minting of the NFT, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So that time there were only very few projects. I think we were contemplating a couple other platforms, and chose to go ahead with Cosmos. That was, I think, back in version 26 or something. Now it's 42. It was quite a old thing, but yeah, not a lot of options nowadays. It's something now which is not unique. Many other chains have come up, but since we have our expertise in the Cosmos domain, we chose to stick with it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm a big fan of Cosmos, so I'm not blaming you. But so you already mentioned, you've been around for a very long time, and so you have not traded the asset before. Well, basically a couple days ago, right? So why not? Is that purely because you just wanted to wait for everything to be ready, or what's the thought behind that?
Why is the token not trading? So we had a different set of plans for the enterprise trading platform, which we will slowly execute. Once you start moving money, or you start doing settlement on the platform, we have licensing requirements, etc. that we want to do, that we want to have in Singapore, which we are applying for, and we see a very big future for that. But we realized, it's good to have, because everybody, once you ask them and tell them, all the ideas and everything that you've been working on, the last question as well as the token. And this is why we wanted to have it, because this kind of helps us with economics as well, because as we onboard more projects, to use the synthetics protocol on chain, there has to be a way to incentivize them as well. And this is why I needed the launch to happen, probably in this cycle, so that we can be helpful to other people as well, to our community, and to other people who want to come and develop on this application.
All right, yeah, that makes sense. That's awesome. And so, your road has been pretty long already, 3 years, you're saying. Could you tell me how it's been like so far, like how you're experiencing the whole development and the creation of Comdex, and also, of course, maybe give us a glimpse into the future of what's coming for Comdex in 2022?
Absolutely. It was a fun ride, I would say, because when we started, cryptocurrency in general did not have kind of had a bad rep. We were facing issues as to tokenization, and few banks would not work with us, etc. But now it's a different world altogether. I think we were early, back then when we were trying to tokenize bills of lading. But now, I think the world has caught up, and many people are doing it. There's a lot more acceptance from people, and it's a great time to build something like this. And in 2022, we will see major updates on all fronts, where The Synthetics app will be coming out, on the testnet, and people will be able to try it out, kind of hold, synthetic gold or silver in their Kepler wallets. And secondly, on the ShipFi front, earlier the whole challenge was none of the funds that people wanted to invest on would not accept a stablecoin payment. They would always want you to convert it into fiat, and that kind of makes it very tricky, because once you're having so many users across the world, and you want to convert money somewhere, there's always some percentage loss that happens, and that kind of eats away into the user's return. Now, we've convinced few funds to take stablecoin payments. I think that's a huge breakthrough for us, because now it makes our flows very simple in the world, where we're not worried about converting to USD and then doing the investment. So that's another major breakthrough. The third one that we will see next year is we did like 160 million of volume on the enterprise trading platform, but it kind of slowed down because we were looking at multiple things. But next year, our aim is to cross $1 billion in trading volume on the platform, and get our licenses in place, and probably do something major there as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, so many great plans and so many amazing things coming. I'm super excited to try it out, definitely. So I'll be keeping my eye on that. That will be amazing. And like you said, the USDT, everything is just, is getting there. I feel like we're getting so close to real implementation and offline use as well. So I guess that couldn't be a better time for Comdex to launch right now.
Absolutely.
Well, you would know better than anyone else, right?
I mean, I've been there, for a long time, where people were not accepting it. Now I see so many projects doing it. It's really great.
Yeah, not just projects. Like, so many people are coming to the space as well, interested in this new concept. Well, it's not new, but for them, new. So that's amazing.
Yeah, in the commodities space, if you see, we used to attend GTR conferences, which is Global Trade Review. It's one of the largest conferences that happen for commodities and trade finance. And if you see, commodities as an industry, it's a 1400-year-old industry, but the failure rate is less than 1%. And it's such a safe investment asset class, and everybody in that ecosystem wants to adopt blockchain, and they're looking for ways, for other projects to help them reach there. So we kind of want to be that person that project that kind of helps that revolution, where all the commodities kind of comes on chain, and it brings up more efficiency to that industry.
Amazing. Yeah, you guys are doing amazing things for the blockchain community. Definitely, it's going to be very promising. So I think for me, that were all the questions. But before we end this conversation, I would like to know, are there any questions or things that I should have asked you that I haven't, or that you would like to just share? Drop some thoughts,
I think you asked majority of the questions, but I do get asked a lot of times, for people who are still wanting to get into the ecosystem, as to how do we get in, and how can we contribute? Do we need to be developers? But what I want to say is, if you look at the whole trend of how things are developing, now there's metaverse popping up, the gaming industry is now coming to blockchain. So it's not about just thinking how you can do whatever people have already done. The people who are wanting to come into the ecosystem, they have to think of use cases that can help their own industry, where they already have their expertise of that industry, to come and develop something new on the blockchain ecosystem. And that is what I want people to understand, because there's such a huge part left in the world that has to be brought on chain, and everywhere you see an issue of trust and efficiency, a blockchain will always have a solution. So for all the people viewing, I would say it's a great time to come join the movement. And pretty much it.
All right, thank you so much.